Bueno, Piyu. No, Piyu. Bueno.
Pull the trigger, ride the bullet, cut the code wrapped around your.
Hello, aquarium hobbyists. Welcome to Life in the Amazon here on Aquatic Wetline, streaming exclusively on my YouTube channel, American Alex Cardinale. I'm your host, the one and the only South American fish keeper, Aqua Alex Cardinale. Welcome to my 21st episode of Life in the Amazon. Tonight, we are taking a trip to the beautiful country of Ecuador. Ecuador is a small country in South America. Today, we are going to find out some cool tropical freshwater fish that live in Ecuador. There are some cool aquarium fish that come into the aquarium hobby from Ecuador. For example, we've got the green terror cichlid, and the red terror fieste, which comes from Ecuador. You know, a big passion of mine, a big passion in the aquarium hobby for me is South American fish. I have kept fish from Peru, Brazil, Colombia, and Venezuela, and I've only kept a few fish from Ecuador, but hopefully in the future that will change. You guys know me, I love South American fish. And I'm actually broadcasting right in front of my South American display tank. This is my 125. You'll see Brutus, my big tiger Oscar behind me, my Lima shovel-nosed catfish, some Severums, and some other fish. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about Ecuador, and then I'm going to talk to you about some tropical fish that live in Ecuador, and then I'm going to create an Ecuadorian community aquarium tank and an Ecuadorian aggressive community tank. For those of you that are watching this show, feel free to post your favorite Ecuadorian fish species in the comments. Let me know your favorite fish species from Ecuador in the comments. All right, so social studies, Aqua Alex is going to start the show. We're going to learn all about Ecuador right now. Let's learn some things about the country Ecuador. Now, Ecuador is a country in northwestern South America. It is bordered by Colombia on the north, Peru on the east and south, and the Pacific Ocean on the west. Ecuador also includes the Galapagos Islands in the Pacific. The country's capital and largest city is Quito. Now, Ecuador is one of 17 mega diverse countries in the world. Ecuador hosts many endemic plants and animals, such as those of the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are sometimes considered part of Oceania, which would thus make Ecuador a transcontinental country under certain definitions. Ecuador is bigger than Uruguay, Suriname, Guyana, and French Guiana in South America. There is a great variety in the climate, largely determined by altitude. It is mild year-round in the mountain valleys with a humid subtropical climate in coastal areas and rainforests in lowlands. The Pacific coastal area has a tropical climate with a severe rainy season. The climate in the Andean highlands is temperate and relatively dry, and the Amazon basin on the eastern side of the mountain shares the climate of other rainforest zones. Because of its location at the equator, Ecuador experiences little variation in daylight hours during the course of a year. Both sunrise and sunset occur each day at the 2 6 o'clock hours. Almost all of the rivers in Ecuador form in the Sierra region and flow east towards the Amazon River or west towards the Pacific Ocean. The rivers rise from snowmelt at the edges of the snow-capped peaks or from the abundant precipitation that falls at higher elevations. In the Sierra region, the streams and rivers are narrow and flow rapidly over precipitous slopes. Rivers may slow and widen as they cross the Hayes, yet become rapid again as they flow from the heights of the Andes to the lower elevations of the other regions. The highland rivers broaden as they enter the more level areas of the Costa and the Oriente. Ecuador is one of 17 mega diverse countries in the world, according to Conservation International, and it has the most biodiversity per square kilometer of any nation. Ecuador has 1,600 bird species, which is 15% of the world's known bird species in the continental area, and 38 more endemic in the Galapagos. In addition to more than 16,000 species of plants, the country has 106 endemic reptiles, 138 endemic amphibians, and 6,000 species of butterfly. The Galapagos Islands are well known as a region of distinct fauna, as the famous place of birth to Darwin's theory of evolution, and as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ecuador has the first constitution to recognize the rights of nature. The protection of the nation's biodiversity is an explicit national priority, as stated in the National Plan of Bien Vivir, or Good Living. Objective 4, guarantee the rights of nature. Policy 1, sustainably conserve and manage the natural heritage, including the land, river, and marine biodiversity, which is considered a strategic sector. And that is awesome that Ecuador really cares for all their biodiversity, the birds, the fish, the reptiles, the amphibians, the mammals, etc. I respect it, Ecuador. I respect it. So that is some information on Ecuador. Gee, I wonder how I would do as a social studies teacher. But now I'm not a social studies teacher, I'm an aquarium hobbyist. Let's learn about some cool fish species that live in Ecuador. We know that Ecuador has a lot of biodiversity, but what are some interesting and unique fish species that call Ecuador home? Let's find out right now. So, up first, we have a very unique catfish species. This catfish is related to the Paraiba, the Tigrinus, and the Durance catfish. It is known as the slobbering catfish. Now, on the screen there, you see a picture of the slobbering catfish. Very interesting catfish, right? Now, I once got one of these guys, a juvenile one, from Aquatic Rarities a couple of years back, and I put him in my 75 grow out tank, and he was eating shrimp and tilapia like a champion. Unfortunately, I had some festivums that were being a bit fin nippy. They were nipping at his whiskers and his tail, and unfortunately, they killed this slobber cat. But this is one of my favorite South American catfish, and if I ever come across one again, I'm definitely going to keep it. Now, they do grow pretty large, not as large as a Paraiba. They grow somewhat similar to that of a Durance or a Tigrinus. Maybe 3 feet is how big the slobbering cat gets, but it is a very gorgeous catfish. I love the look of it. It's like the bulldog of the catfish hobby, I think. It looks just like an American bulldog, but it's very, very pretty. Maybe they should consider naming this the bulldog catfish, but I really love the slobbering catfish. Another cool catfish that comes from Ecuador is this guy. This is a firewood catfish, aka a planticept catfish. It is kind of rare in the aquarium hobby. I've always wanted to get one, but I can never find them. They are very hard to come by, and they're very expensive as well. But they are very, very cool. They kind of remind me of a juvenile tiger shovelnose, except they keep their markings throughout their entire life. They grow up to 3 feet, so they do need a large aquarium. But if you have a large monster tank, the firewood catfish is a cool catfish to keep. I love the firewood cat, but I've never kept them. But they do call Ecuador home. Here's another South American catfish that I haven't kept, that I do want to keep in the future. It is called a porthole shovel-nose catfish. Very, very interesting looking shovel nose. It has the shovel nose like a tiger shovel nose and like a lima shovel nose, but it doesn't have the coloration or patterns. But it does have a gray body with black spots. Very interesting looking catfish though. I think they grow up to 28 inches, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but they are very, very cool. Now, Ecuador has many different species of this catfish. This catfish is my all-time favorite, and this is the tiger shovel-nose catfish. I love, love, love the tiger shovel-nose catfish. Don't even get me going on that, Jack, because I love the tiger shovel-nose. The tiger shovel-nose is a gorgeous catfish. I mean, look at the coloration of that tiger shovel-nose that I got on the screen there. The color changes and the patterns these fish go through as they grow into adulthood, it's almost like a metamorphosis. Very, very cool. I love the tiger shovel-nose. I've actually got one that I'm growing out in my 125 gallon behind me, and I really adore these guys. But the tiger shovel-nose does grow relatively large, so do keep that in mind that the tiger shovel-nose can get anywhere from 30 inches and even larger. And like I said, there are a couple of different species of tiger shovelnose that call Ecuador home. You've got your tigrinum shovelnose cat, and there's a couple of other different species. I don't know how to pronounce their names, so I'm not even going to try. But there are a couple of species of tiger shovelnose cats out there. So this next catfish is a really rare catfish. It's an odd catfish as well, a cool oddball catfish. It is known as the dolphin catfish, and to me, it is like the South American version of an iridescent shark or a Pagansys catfish. Now, this is known as the dolphin catfish, and it also has a common name. I'm going to try to pronounce it for you. The common name is Agenosius catfish. The Agenosius catfish is pretty cool, but we'll just call it the hammerhead catfish or the dolphin catfish. As far as I know, these are medium growing cats, reaching anywhere from 8 to about 12 inches. Very, very cool. It looks like they don't have whiskers. So that's a pretty interesting feature about this catfish, is it looks like they don't have whiskers, but that's pretty cool. A pretty unique catfish. Now, here is a small growing predatory cat that is great for the aquarium. The thing uh, they're very nocturnal. So unless your tank doesn't have any lights on it, you probably won't see them in your aquarium. But these are a cool fish that do come from Ecuador, a cool catfish that do come from Ecuador, and it is the banjo catfish. It looks just like a banjo. Banjo catfish can grow to about 5, 6, maybe 7 inches. So they're great for 55 gallons, 75 gallons, etc. They'll go great with angelfish, discus, gouramis, and other fish like that. They'll probably nibble on guppies and neon tetras, but a pretty cool hardy catfish that comes from Ecuador that would be great in a community aquarium, provided there's fish in there that cannot be eaten. I like these guys. I might have to get some of these for my goldfish tank or my 75-gallon grow out aquarium. All right, so let's move away from catfish for a while. Now we're going to focus that call Ecuador home. So let's take a look at some cichlids that come from Ecuador. Now, this was a dream cichlid of mine for many, many years. But thanks to my friend James Anthony, I was able to keep one and raise one, and he was a beauty. The only problem was he was very aggressive, and he was dominating my entire 125. So unfortunately, I had to rehome him. And he was a true red terror, aka a Fieste cichlid. The Feste is very beautiful. These are a cichlid keeper's dream fish, ultimate show-off fish. But the problem with the true Fieste Red Terror is that there actually are terrors as they mature. They get very, very aggressive. But if you can handle aggressive cichlids, I think you'll love the Red Terror. Very, very cool fish. Just too aggressive for me, in my opinion. But these are show-worthy fish, show-quality fish. And they're very rare and they're very expensive. So if you ever come across a Red Terror and you want one, a true Fieste, definitely get one. Be careful of fish stores selling Mayan cichlids as Fiestes. Mayan cichlids are worthless Central American cichlids that are overly aggressive and not as beautiful as the Feste cichlid. The Feste is the real deal, and this is what a Feste looks like. Up next, we've got my favorite of the terrors from Ecuador, and it is the green terror cichlid. Look how gorgeous this male green terror cichlid is. You can tell it's a male by that nuchal hump on its head. Now, the green terror, a little bit more semi-aggressive, a little bit less aggressive than the red terror, but equally as beautiful. I think even more beautiful because it's got the turquoise green, the orange, and blue. Very, very pretty fish. Green terrors can reach a size of about 8 to 9 inches and are very cool fish to keep in the aquarium hobby. Another cichlid that comes from Ecuador is an earth eater cichlid in the family of Geophagus. This one is known as Satan Perca jurapari, the jurapari Geophagus, although it's actually a Santa Perca. But this is the regular jurapari. There are two jurapari that come into the aquarium hobby. The first is this plain one that you see on the screen, and the other is one that has white spots on the face and blue coloration. That is a Santa Perca leacustica, and that is my dream earth eater. I would like to get some more of those. I raised them, and I loved having them in the aquarium hobby. They were a very fun fish to keep. But these guys are nice. They'll eat whatever is in your sand, and they'll keep your sand clean. And if you love seeing earth-feeding fish in your aquarium, the Jurapari is for you. Now, the next cichlid is another Miso Hero cichlid. We just talked about the Miso Hero Feste, which is the red terror. But this one is a nearest to me. This one is called the Mesohero ornatus cichlid. And the Mesohero ornatus can be found in Ecuador. Very, very pretty fish. Kind of looks like a yellow Jack Dempsey or a South American Jack Dempsey, in my opinion. Very, very cool fish. All right, so let's get into some oddball fish now. Ecuador has a very cool knife fish known as glass knife fish. It looks like a piece of broken glass. Very, very cool knife fish. I'm sure these guys are smaller species of knives. They probably grow about 5, 6, maybe 7 inches. They're perfect tank mates with discus, as you see on the screen. Very, very cool knife fish. The glass knife lives in Ecuador. So the next couple of fish are actually predatory cherisons that are in the vampire family, vampire tetra family. Right here, this elongated one is a vampire tetra that is known as Raphodon vulpinus. Raphodon vulpinus. Basically, it's a long, elongated saber-toothed tetra, similar to the pariah. It lives in Ecuador. It eats smaller fish. Very cool predatory fish. And then we've got the saber-toothed pariah. This one is not in Armadas. Armadas are not found in Ecuador. This is the most common pariah that enters the aquarium hobby, and that is the scone. Now, unfortunately, this species of pariah does have a high mortality rate. They don't adjust well to the aquarium hobby. I've seen a lot of fish keepers get them, and then they lose these guys within a month or two. For whatever reason, they just don't adjust to aquariums as easily as the Armadas or the red-tailed tap pariahs do. But if you can get them to live in your aquarium well, they are a very, very cool pariah to have. They get about a foot, but like I said, this pariah, the scone, has a very high mortality rate. So they're best left in the wild, and you'll find the scone pariah in Ecuador. So another cool oddball fish you'll find in Ecuador, marble swamp. Very unique looking fish, to say the least. I mean, it kind of looks like an African lungfish, if you ask me, but it's very cool. It also looks like a piece of poop, if you ask me as well. But it's a very cool eel, the marble swamp eel. I don't know if anyone is keeping these in the aquarium hobby, but from what I've researched, they do come in South American shipments from Ecuador every now and then. So I'm sure your local fish store could possibly get one of these guys in for you if you really wanted a marbled swamp eel. They are a pretty interesting looking fish. Very cool eel. And they are a true eel. They're not a spiny eel like the fire eel or the tire track eel from Africa and Asia. These are true freshwater eels, which is very cool if you ask me. Now, back in the early 2000s, early to late 2000s, like 2005, 2006, etc., when Walmart was selling fish, they had this fish, but it was labeled as a violet goby. Well, this fish lives in Ecuador and other countries of South America. It's also known as the dragon fish or dragon goby. It is a interesting looking fish. However, this fish is extremely difficult to keep in the aquarium hobby. These two also have a high morality rate, and I don't know how Walmart was able to get a hold of these guys and other pet stores, but they were labeled as a beginner fish, but these certainly are not beginner fish because they are filter feeders. They need sandy substrate, and most of them are brackish water that come into the aquarium hobby. But like I said, they are a cool little oddball fish. If you've got a brackish aquarium, then you can keep them. They get you about 12 inches. There is a species that is pure freshwater, but they're probably very rare in the aquarium hobby. So pretty interesting looking goby, if you ask me, that comes from Ecuador. All right, so now let's focus on some community fish that calls Ecuador home. Oh, wait, we forgot about the red belly piranha. The red belly piranha is one of the many piranha species that lives in Ecuador. Trust me, Ecuador has piranhas. They have many different types of piranhas, but the red belly piranha is the most common piranha in Ecuador. So one of the community tetras that you'll see in Ecuador is the bloodfin tetra. And this is the bloodfin tetra. Very, very pretty tetra, right? Very, very interesting looking. And then you've got the spotfin hatchetfish. The spotfin hatchetfish is also a very nice looking tetra. Very, very cool looking fish. Then you've got panda corridor and skunk corridorus that call Ecuador home. So those are just some of the tropical fish species that call Ecuador home. There are a multitude of different freshwater and saltwater fish species that live in Ecuador, but I really don't have 4 or 5 hours to sit here and tell you about all the different types of fish that live in Ecuador. All right now, we're going to go ahead and do my first Biotope aquarium from Ecuador. And we're going to set up my Ecuadorian community biotope. So in my Ecuadorian community biotope aquarium, I would have the following fish. Now, in my Ecuadorian community biotope aquarium, I would have some wild Ecuadorian scalar angelfish. Yes, there are angelfish that live in Ecuador as well. Angelfish are basically all over South America. I'd also have some panda corridorus. They're very beautiful. I'd have some spotfin hatchetfish. I'd have some skunk corridorus. I'd have some banjo catfish, which are really, really cool looking Ecuadorian catfish. And then I'd have some Colombian tetras to round it out. That is my Ecuadorian community biotope aquarium. I am having a great time so far talking about Ecuadorian tropical fish and creating Ecuadorian biotopes. All right now is the perfect time for us to take our intermission, which is being brought to us by my friends at Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is operated by my friend and fellow fish keeper Jeremy Stellhorn. Little Egypt Aquarium Club has high quality fish food brands like Rapashi. It also has medicated fish foods, sponge filters, and more. Tax season is coming. We're getting those taxes back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for high quality aquarium supplies, look no further than LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com. Remember, you save 10% off your order by using coupon code ALEX. When I come back from this quick break, I'm going to talk about my monster community or my aggressive community biotope from Ecuador, and I'll have one more topic to talk about, and then we'll wrap up the show. The show continues right after this. Don't go anywhere, fish keepers.
Are you a tropical fish keeper living in South Florida? You need to check out Aquatic and Exotic in Stuart, Florida. Aquatic and Exotic is home to quality freshwater and saltwater tropical fish. You will find African cichlids, South and Central American cichlids, goldfish and koi, and exotic fish. We also supply aquarium supplies like filters and heaters, aquariums, and lights. We also have quality fish food brands. Aquatic and Exotic is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Questions? Give us a call at 772-781-4046. Stop on by and check us out. 1525 A.C.E. Lockhart Street, Stuart, Florida 34994.
Hey fish keepers, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. Proud to announce that I am partnering with Little Egypt Aquarium Club, founded by tropical fish keeper Jeremy Stellhorn from Red Bud, Illinois. Little Egypt Aquarium Club supplies aquarium hobbyists all across the United States with quality aquarium supplies. At Little Egypt Aquarium Club, you will find rapashi, a really good fish food. You'll also find freeze-dried foods, medicated foods, pellets and wafers for your fish, breeding supplies, driftwood, filters, and so much more. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is operated by fish keepers such as Aqua Alex and Jeremy Stellhorn for fish keepers like yourself. You'll get free shipping on orders over $200. And don't forget, you can save money with Aqua Alex. You'll get 10% off your order by using coupon code ALEX. That's right, fish keepers. Bruno, my tiger Oscar behind me, and Aqua Alex want to save you 10%. Use coupon code ALEX to get 10% off your order. Go to LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com after the show. Happy fish keeping, and go check out Little Egypt Aquarium Club after the show. All right, welcome back to Life in the Amazon, episode 21. And tonight we are creating Ecuadorian Biotope aquariums. Before the commercial break, I made my Ecuadorian community aquarium, and now we're going to make my Ecuadorian aggressive Biotope aquarium. So here is my Ecuadorian aggressive Biotope. And we get the picture up there. So here we go. Here is my Ecuadorian aggressive Biotope. And in this aquarium, I will have a green terror cichlid, a red terror cichlid, Geophagus durapara or Santa Perca durapari, tiger shovelnose catfish, firewood catfish, pariah, and a slobbering catfish. That is my aggressive Biotope aquarium. Red terror cichlid, green terror cichlid, Santa Perca durapari, tiger shovelnose, firewood cat, pariah, and slobbering cat. That would actually be a pretty cool aquarium. A man can dream, right? So I had fun creating that with all of you, my amazing amazing viewers. All right, let's see. We've got someone in the live chat. Garcia Aquatics is in the house. Hey, Garcia. How are you? Happy birthday, Garcia Aquatics. Well, happy belated birthday. I hope you had an amazing birthday. And also over on Garcia Aquatics YouTube channel, he's got a really great birthday video up. He went to an amazing fish store called Consolidated Fish Farms somewhere in Florida, and they have some amazing fish. I liked all the cichlids they have, and some of the goldfish, like those red-capped orandas, were beautiful. I would have been in heaven if I had gone with you. I would have bought a lot of those red-capped oranda. So fish keepers, please check out Garcia Aquatics on YouTube. I love supporting other hardworking fish keepers and aquatic YouTubers like Garcia Aquatics. I know he does a lot of work for his videos, so please show him some love and check him out because he's a passionate keeper, and I appreciate people who are very passionate for the aquarium hobby myself. All right, so the final topic I have for tonight's show is going to be on the fish species that I want to keep from Ecuador. These are some fish species that I never had before or I haven't had success with. The first fish species from Ecuador that I want to keep is the slobbering catfish. That is a very nice catfish from Ecuador. And then we have the firewood catfish or the planicept catfish. And then we've got the dolphin catfish, the banjo catfish, and also the marbled swamp eel. Those are all fish species that I would love to keep from Ecuador. All right, well, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this episode of Life in the Amazon. It was a pleasure to talk about fish species that come from Ecuador. I'd like to remind everyone that my 9-year YouTube anniversary is coming up on Monday, March 6th and Tuesday, March 7th. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, American Alex Cardinale. And I, Alex, will be a big part of the 9-year YouTube anniversary. I'm going to do some fish unboxings on both nights. I'm going to talk about a featured South American fish on both nights and plenty more. Plenty of fishy surprises. Plenty of fish keeping surprises on my 9-year YouTube anniversary on March 6th and March 7th right here on my YouTube channel, American Alex Cardinale. So, on the next episode of Life in the Amazon, we're going to travel to another South American country, and we're going to go to Uruguay, and we're going to create some Uruguay biotopes. That's going to be really cool. That's going to be the next episode of Life in the Amazon. So, thank you for tuning into this episode of Life in the Amazon. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and comment if you have any questions. Share this video with your fish keeping friends. Thank you, fish keepers, for watching, and tank on and enjoy the fish keeping.
the trail.